And we are back on Team Islands with a game between Rit playing in purple and as the Saracens, and he will be pinned up against Barn3yStinson, who is playing in teal and as the Goths. So it's good to see a non-mirror matchup. That's why I like these island games so far. It's Team Islands, by the way, if I haven't said that. But you get a good amount of diversity in them, which is always good, because it comes down to mainly the fact that lots of civilizations have pretty decent ships. Out of these guys, they can all go up to Galleon. I don't think Saracens can get shipwright, I think it is. And I think Goths miss elite cannon Galleon, I think, from the top of my mind. Well, that's all I can think of at this stage. But the builds are fairly standard for island games, no matter who you're really playing as. And generally, it goes straight up for the dock. You get your lumber camp up, of course, go onto here. You'll get a fair bit of lumber up, then you'll go up to the dock, and then that will start producing fishing ships, and then that will go into the grush. That's the standard play for islands. And as we can see, a bit of conversation going on in the chat. Nothing wrong with that. Always good to talk with your opponent, especially when you're both in good faith. So, looking at the moment, we're currently at 10 population for Rit, and Barney at 11, could have possibly gone up to 11 there, so both players pretty much neck and neck at this stage. All you've got to do is just keep that villager count up, and minimize the idle time on your town center, and you shouldn't have too much trouble keeping up. And pretty decent lure there, actually. Looks like that boar is going to be there for the perfect amount of time. And there you go, perfect lure, especially as Goths, because your villagers do bonus damage to wild animals. It's so much easier to lure boar, especially if you get caught out, because you can kill them off a lot quicker. But the thing with that is, again, you've got to be careful that you don't kill them off outside the town center in this area here. So if we jump over to Rit, he's got his boar in as well, pretty much a good lure there as well. And we can check quickly and see that Goths did have his boar in quicker, or he does have more on it. Quick population block there from Rit, however, he is managing to get that out fairly quickly. And loom, yes, so we're all good there. And there's the dock. And like I said in the last Islands game we had, the back dock generally means someone will be going more passively and not as aggressive, because of the fact that it's going to take so long to get their ships around, and the fact that their fishing ships are going to be so much more safe, because it's not as easy to harass. He can just whack some galleys up here, even put a castle or a tower here, and that'll pretty much stop anything coming down unless he's completely overridden. Scores are very close, so let's check the exploration. Right now we can see Rit exploring quite well. He's got most of his island covered. Just needs to come up here, get this section here. 2 relics on this island so far. And scout. So it looks like I can only see 2 relics there. And always, if you see another relic while I'm just cruising around, feel free to point it out in the comments, just because it's nice to know everything that's about. Let's have a look. 1 relic there. 2 relics. So it looks like the relic distribution's been pretty nice, honestly. And of course, with things like Team Islands as well, you got to be careful, because sometimes the relics are really biased position. I've seen games where there's been 4 relics on one island and none on the other altogether. So you can tell naturally how annoying that would be for people. Fishing ship count is currently 4 to Barn3yStinson, and we're on 3 for Rit right now. Of course, keeping that fishing ship count up means you're going to be able to get a lot more food income. Another thing as well, you've got to remember, shorefish as well, they are a source of food for fishing ships, but they are so much slower to gather from. So going for these big sections here, and as well as the reason he probably didn't build his dock straight across from his town center here, is because if you look, there's only 1 shorefish there, so there's no point in building it any closer, because then all these fishing ships would have to travel, and when they have to travel, it's never nice, because naturally it slows down your resource time. Lots of villages there on to gold already, which means we're going to be expecting quite a hard rush. I'm going to pause it for a sec just because I want to check the populations. 29 for Rit and 28 for Stinson, so it's looking quite close. However, Barney did manage to get up a lot faster. We see the 3rd dock getting dropped down there and about to go up, and it goes into the grush now, so it's going to come down to who can get the most water control. And like I say, water control is a big thing, and as well, who lands first. If someone manages to land on your island and can keep up the pressure from that, that can pretty much win you the game on one of these maps without too much trouble. Rit, what's your plan? Doesn't even have another dock up yet. Could be, no, not going forward, and blacksmith, and a market, so he's going for a fast castle. Very interesting play for actually on islands, because usually you see both players engaging really heavily in the grush, which means that they don't have the chance to fast castle, because they're using so much of their villages and resources on these galleys. So right now we're going to see something very different, and from Saracens of course as well. So they are going to be able to utilize that market. And looks like he's just got away with putting that dock down there, actually. Because those galleys were just cruising around. He's just going to get away with that. However, this galley over here has no doubt scouted these fishing ships, or at least scouted this dock here. So he knows there's going to be a dock there, and these fishing ships are going to have to get away. Dock there for Saracens, of course. And I'm going to go over because he should be advancing by now. There we go, so he's halfway towards castle. And of course, this is going to give him a big advantage when it comes down to getting war galleys. But right now, it looks like he's going to be going for the land. Because we see a transport ship there. And it looks like he will get across without too much trouble. It's just going to come down to where he lands. And here we go, it has been seen. And alright, so I wouldn't be surprised right now if Barney starts building up any type of ground force. Just because of the fact, and what do we have there? We have an outpost going up there, very smart idea. But once this transport ship gets onto this island, he's going to be able to start abusing the resources that his opponent has, so he's going to be able to do that. And doesn't look like he's going to be able to put a castle or anything up, but looks like he could start putting his archer count up by quite a bit. So here we go, what's he putting down? And a monastery. Interestingly enough, could go for monks the way he's going, especially with the amount of gold there. We might actually see a island monk rush right now. And producing monks, and there we go. Looks like this is going to turn into a great game. And another monastery. Yes, it is turning into an island monk rush. Something that is not seen nearly even often enough. The monk rush by itself, not even seen that often. Especially when there's so little defensive structures around this island. And the fact is that still, they're not going to be able to do a lot of damage because, like I said, he's got no defensive structures up, so he doesn't even have offensive structures as well. We're talking barracks, archery range, stables, things like that. He has none of them up. 3 monasteries at the moment. Going to be able to keep those monks out very, very strong. Any minute now. Going to be able to just start getting the conversions. There we go, Siege Workshop going up for Rit right now. And this is something, like I said, we do not see something like this often enough. And looks like this villager here is going to be in a bit of trouble. And going for the conversions, very smart, keeping this villager on here. And this villager might be enough to take down this tower and just get into this section here. So there we go, the barracks is up, the market's going up, stable is down. Stable, of course, going to be able to do quite an amount of damage to monks. And a very smart play by there, moving that monk in. And then moving this one here in as well. Very, very smart play right now by Rit. He's doing this so well. And converting these galleys, even smarter play. We're seeing a great matchup here, actually. Losing 2 monks there to villagers, however, nothing you can really do about that. But once this tower comes down, he's going to be able to start pouring monks into here and start doing a lot of damage. Small population drop right now, though. But it doesn't look like there's going to be too much trouble. And the tower is down, so there's going to be a lot of trouble right now for Barney to hold out his base. He's going to have to start getting towers up, because as we know, towers are a great defense against monks. And I had no idea. That villager was building the ram. Fair enough. Always get confused when I see that. And converted this galley over here. Great play so far by Rit. We can see that Barney is ahead at the moment, mostly due to the galley count and the fact he's got these fishing ships out, because as we know, fishing ships do a hell of a lot to your economy. Looks like we are about to see quite a bit of damage right now done to Stinson, especially once this tower here goes up. And monk conversion starting. Looks like that monk there is going to go down, and there we go. Monk's going to be in a bit more trouble yet again. That hanging out, they're going to be able to do a great amount of damage to those galleys if they stay together like this. Killing one off there, and could get the second as well. No, just missing there. And Castle Age now for Barney. He has been behind in age for quite a while now, managing to catch up, so he's going to be able to start to get out units that are going to be able to do a little bit more damage to those monks. Most likely get the range upgrades on those archers, which will definitely help out. But with his mangonels here, you can't really use the archers. Knights, of course, as well, not a great viable option, because monks do absolutely just convert knights so quickly. It works so well in their favour. So, galleys being used by Barney still, and it's going to be interesting to see how he tries to counter this, because it's not an obvious counter to this game. It's a very uncommon use strategy, and it looks like he is going knights. I'm going to swap over quickly, and I like to pause it when I swap over, because it does stop showing you what's going on. So let's jump back over here and back into it. And Scout Cavalry being created. Again, pretty decent idea to go with Scout Cavalry. Because as we know, Scout Cavalry not a very costly unit. If it gets converted, no big deal. If it kills a few monks, then well, they've paid for themselves, because gold is a very expensive resource. However, right now, Wright's being able to push his way in. these monks are doing an amazing amount of damage. He doesn't even have a lot of them on at this stage. So, barracks finally going down, because he hasn't even created his first barracks yet. So, these scouts, of course, going to be able to do large amounts of damage to these monks, but, of course, they are going to be able to be converted, and these mangonels here as well could be in bad shape when it comes down to these scouts, especially when they get this light cavalry upgrade, just because of the fact they're going to be able to get in there, get the surround, and pick them off really quickly. Tower as well, and here we go. Looks like we have the light cavalry upgrade, and getting one conversion. One will not be enough to save him here by the looks of it. Two, and it looks like he's gonna just get out of this. Very impressive play there by Rit. Always impressive to see someone use monks as well, especially because monks don't have direct functions that you can use. And honestly, the way this is going, Barney has a great advantage at the moment, but I'm taking that due to the fact that he has multiple town centers up, and he's been able to do so much damage to our opponents, who is Rit's just economy when it comes down to the fishing ships. 3 town centers for both players, however, gold is definitely being the most expensive resource for Rit, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was selling resources off, and selling resources off, of course, you do always go down in score with that, because you are trading more resources for less resources. Monk getting ambushed there, however, getting out of that quite well, only losing 1 monk, which is good. We can see Barney is having some great control right now. But this is something you don't usually see in the game. You hardly ever see monks use this offensively, which is why I like to show games with them. Because as well as being able to not happen a lot, it takes a lot of control and precision to be able to do. And Barney's defending it off quite well, I will say so. He's up by 700 points at the moment. He is losing minimal units. He's using scout cavalry, of course, that is definitely a good idea. Forward castle looks like it's going to come up right now for Rit, and I don't think that Barney's going to have a lot he can do about this. He's going to be able to move these villages and try and get this mangonel here going to be able to do a lot of damage. Monk's going to be able to convert these villages, and even this light cavalry. They convert the villages as well. You've got to remember, he can just use them to keep on the castle, and we're probably about to see that actually. Scout cavalry just keeping on getting converted. There's not a lot he can do about it. Tower going up though, a very smart idea to try and defend that. This mangonel here is going to be able to pick them off so quickly, and it looks like it's not going to stop this castle going up. And is it? Yes, there we go. We have the Saracens castle up, and of course going to be able to do so much damage. And Barney3yStinson resigning out there. Even though he had the higher score, there was not a lot he could have done in this situation. When you land your opponent that quickly, you can do so much damage so quickly, especially if they're going with the Grush, just due to the fact they're going to be spending all the resources into that Grush, and they're not going to have the resources like he did in here to defend himself. It took him a while to get those stables up, and when he did, these monasteries over here would just be being able to convert the small amount you had pretty easily. Then getting rid of this tower, going out with the tower, killing off everything in this area, moving up with those monks, and getting that castle up, forcing him to resign, because there's nothing he's going to be able to do about it at this stage. He does have these 2 stables up at the back, but he's not going to be able to combat a castle with that. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next game.